Hi Taurus, this is your November 2024 soul story. If you have a sun, rising or moon in the sign, this is your reading. It's Romy. Thanks so much for joining me and tuning into the channel. We're going to open up this month with the Four of Staffs, and you know, we open November with a new moon in Scorpio, and we're going to close the month with a new moon in Sagittarius. So it does feel like you have this really beautiful opportunity to zone right in and get really clear about where you want to embark upon something new, something different. And then as Sagittarius season kicks off, be able to kind of zone out and really see and understand how that fits into the bigger picture. You can handle it, is what I want to say about this month. It's definitely about perspective, but you've got some strong foundations helping to support you this month. You may even have a feeling that there's going to be some shifting or changing going on, maybe at home or in the workplace. I think there's also going to be times where you're going to have to let it be so that you can in fact let it go. And the two figures are dancing here. There's a fluidity, and I think we definitely need to find a way to adjust to the rhythm of how the energy is talking to you and having that kind of a conversation. You know, we're 44 weeks in, you've got 8 weeks left of the year, and you know, there's an opportunity really to embark upon this last 2 months, not in a judgmental way, not in a critical way, but really in a realization of how far you've come. I mean, man, it's been hard at times, right? But you have achieved so much, and you've been so shaped by that experience, right? And there's something perhaps that you're on the fence about. Do I go for this? Do I not? Is it the right time? Is it not? I think you're in the month of November using the wisdom of all of the times where you've been presented with difficult choices, with tough choices, and how you navigated them and what the outcome was and where it led you and what it showed you about yourself. And that's the thing that I want you to remind yourself on, so that you can really, you know, draw upon that to help you and to support you. So Mercury shifts into Sagittarius on the 2nd. Communication becomes very direct. We may become very bold and adventurous in how we're presenting and expressing ideas. On the 3rd, we have asteroid goddess Juno shifting into Scorpio. And, you know, there's an opportunity here to really forge some unbreakable bonds. Now, we know Scorpio is your 7th house, Taurus, so there's always a spotlight being shined on the relationships and connections in your world during this season. You might find that there's a lot of shifts and changes happening in regards to that. You've got the Empress here, and you're looking in a contemplative energy, and in some regards turning your back again, perhaps place of work, place of home, you know, something going on that you just need some time out, or you're in deep consideration or thoughtfulness about that. Remember, the Empress really teaches us about seasons and cycles, and it might be that this particular season has a really strong theme that it's wanting you to understand. Like I said, something needs to, you know, be understood from a place of let it be so that you can let it go. Now on the 3rd, we also have Mars in Leo, which is now in shadow for its upcoming retrograde in December, opposing Pluto, and we also have Venus opposing Jupiter the same day. So there is definitely a friction, there's an intensity building around that time, and you know, that can be quite almost provocative in terms of where it's asking you to go, where it's causing you to reflect or think, or how you're acting. But certainly this is a month where it's sort of this oscillation, I think, between rest and receive, and between action to allow attraction. Yeah, the 11:11 portal will arrive the same day as Venus moves into Capricorn, and you know, this is again another one of these beautiful energetic conversations that can remind you of the way in which you're approaching your own manifestation, of how you're allowing yourself to evolve. And it's not just words, it's how you're really embodying and integrating things. Now you've got judgment coming in, something I think quite important landing mid-month and certainly being shown something or having the realization that you are in fact at like a really critical, important crossroads in your life. That Venus in Capricorn energy perhaps brings a serious note to things, but at the same time, I think you become very deliberate about what you want to achieve and by when. There's some very clear, distinct goals and things that have to be put into operation, if you like. There may be something that you're having to sit with in terms of a feeling or an energy or an experience around this time. We're inviting you to lean in because you're going to learn something about yourself. There's a rebirth experience underway at the moment. This reset has affected you. And, you know, there's still a turbulence and a chaotic component to how the energy continues to play out. And so as you're considering in your own life and trying to find meaning in things, you know, sometimes it can be a struggle, right? And this is where the self-trust really emerges. And I see you just having your own back and really pulling from deep within you a resiliency all the way through November to help you. But major choices and decisions are landing this month. Now, on the 12th, Saturn is going to station direct in Pisces, and this is important because it feels like there's a karmic clearance taking place. There's also an opportunity for some results to start to be felt and show up in your world. Now, the Nine of Swords talks to me about the fact that, you know, something that's on your mind definitely feels like it's causing some ongoing overwhelm or anxiety in regards to something. There could be a little bit of fear or trepidation about, you know, what this means or what next. You might just feel like there's just too much going on and it's really hard to switch your mind off through the month of November. Sleep becomes a lot more troublesome, or it's just difficult to rest properly. You know, you just feel like maybe your body's resting but your mind is still going like 100 miles an hour. Often we are reminded with the Nine of Swords, you know, the swords represent intellect and thought. It's the way that we're thinking about things and how we're allowing those stories to invade our peace of mind and our well-being. And, you know, this is why perspective for the month of November is really important, okay? I do think that the shift with Saturn might take a few days or, you know, a couple of weeks, but you definitely will start to feel like some things in your world are gaining more momentum again. Doors feel like they're opening. Where you felt there was a block or a closed situation, it now seems like it's time to be able to consider that. But this is also about the reminder of the lessons that we've been through and the teachings that have undergone, you know, as part of that process have really been heeded. You know, it's about how am I going to do things differently, right? Now, of course, we have the full moon in your sign coming in on the 15th, 24 degrees, Nine of Staffs. It's a time to clear the air, clear the energy in the room, clear your own energy, particularly if you've gotten through something. It may even be that the nine is just pertinent to having to make choices or decisions and them just feel like it's taken a lot from you. So something feels like it's depleted your energy a little bit more than you would have liked. I think you get a charge around that full moon, but it's also demanding of you in quite a, you know, a powerful, intense way to say, you know what, Taurus, it's time. Like now we have to draw a line. Now we have to move on from this. Now we have to let this go. Remember what I'm saying. You can handle it. Whatever it is, it's all a choice. You know, can you see it that way? So this full moon feels like it also wants to demonstrate to you as you consider back where you've come from since the new moon earlier this year, 6 months ago, and realize actually that perhaps in some regard, you know, you're maybe not where you expected to be, but you're way further on, I think, in some aspects than you could have possibly conceived. And, you know, if we start thinking about it like that, we often hugely underestimate what can be done, what can be achieved, how much can change, you know, over these periods of time. And so as you think about the next arc of time toward the new moon of 2025, and you realize like how much your life is just turning on its axis and the way that you see things is shifting, expect that that's going to be amplified and that, you know, time continues to speed up. So there's an open-mindedness and a genuine kind of curiosity and soul searching that's starting to emerge from mid-month onwards, that really helps you to move through the energy of 8th house, which is always going to ask you to kind of allow that mini death of sorts to happen, so that that full reset and metamorphosis can take place for you. I think around that full moon as well, you're really in deep consideration of where, you know, something, is it worth my time, energy and attention? Is this person, is this thing, is this idea, this project? So there's going to be a lot of, you know, discussions that you're having with yourself and others around that time. We have strength. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, you can handle it. And really about this digging deep and finding the inner resiliency with regards to things. You can find harmony in the disharmony this month, even if at times it feels like, how on earth could that be the case? I actually, you know, see her almost looking with a joyful expression, like holding something really precious that represents like this soul song, you know, the beauty and the joy. And it's like, you have the strength to still hold space for these things in your life and actually to prioritize them in new ways as well. Of course, on the 19th, Pluto comes out of Capricorn into Aquarius, and we really are allowing that epic closure to happen. And, you know, that's why there's so much sort of destabilizing energies. You know, a lot of times we're having to be shown what we've been through, what we've learned, what we've had to come to terms with. And, you know, that in itself is just a lot to process at any given time, right? But you've got that strength of the lion, and it's telling me that you do need courage in this month of November at some point, right? Particularly as we come into Sagittarius season, because I think there's a boldness about seeing yourself as strong enough, capable enough, empowered enough, gifted enough, well enough to be able to go for something that is important and that matters, or that's, you know, to even kind of see yourself in the position of having that, right? The 1111 portal wants to help you to manifest what is your process for that. Return to the things that have helped you in the past, have worked for you in the past. Now, when we come into Sagittarius season, right, the 25th Mercury station's retrograde in Sagittarius. It's going to be in shadow from the 7th, so keep that in mind as well as you're navigating some of the conversations and things that keep coming back up from the past. Any glitches, you know, potentially any things that come in that feel like they're a bit disruptive. So we have this opportunity, right, as Mercury is retrograde in Sagittarius, to think about that bigger picture, right? And as we consider the bold plans that we want to put in place, what's coming in on the horizon, we're leading up to that new moon on the 30th, right? We've also got asteroid goddess Pallas Athena shifting into Capricorn on the 30th, again, sort of pinning down the strategy and the plan. I love the fact that we have these two new moons really bookending November, because they really bring in a lot of new energy to work with and to direct. And even though everything feels a little bit up in the air, that also affords us opportunity. It affords us the ability to be able to really move the pieces around and then allow them to come back into an alignment that feels like it makes more sense for us at this moment in time, right? So you can harness these new beginnings. You can harness this by setting your clear goals and visions and thoughts about what happens next for you. And actually, in some ways, I think feel quite satisfied about the new plan, if you like, or the new approach or the new way of doing something. Now, if you're new to the channel, the last 3 cards we're going to look at in the extended reading, Taurus, you're going to find that link in the comment and description box underneath. We talk for another 30 minutes or so. We're going to look at a relationship and a personal question for you as well. Just going to go ahead and clarify these cards and see the direction we will take that extended reading. Hope you'll join me if it's resonating. It helps to support the channel. I really appreciate you if you're able to do so. So just beginning with that 4 of Staffs, what are we bringing through? 6 of Pentacles, and we've got 10 of Wands. Now, my new journal is shipping this month. Have you checked it out? Have you pre-ordered? Over on my website, romywiser.com, you're going to find this new sacred title, Beautiful Soul Companion. It's going to really help you, especially if you're readdressing your whole manifesting process. So much goodness in there that I think this is the journal you didn't know you needed, and it's such a compliment to all of your other diaries and planners. So yeah, I hope you'll take a moment to see how it's looking. You can also check out this month my 11/11 energy activations. They're always really popular and really serve people when you're working with the energy of these portals. Okay, Nine of Staffs. What do we have? King of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. Okay. A lot of court cards coming in here. Okay. November is also a time that I'll put out all of my gifts to soothe your soul for the season. So again, please check out my website. Make sure you're signed up to the newsletter. You're going to find all the information comes out there first. Now let's have a look at Life Soul Vision Oracle. So this is my own deck. What do we have, Taurus? The Collective Heart. We've got the Wishing Tree, Rainbow Dragon and the Wild Rose. Casting out constellations. This is the way, this is the work. We've got Waves Crash and Stars Fall, and we've got Maverick of the Light, Dancer of the Shadows. Okay. I'm gonna pull one more oracle. So this is for Taurus for the month of November. What do we have? Right, we've got the Cave. Retreat, time out, self-care, slow down. Taurus, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you'll join me for the extended. We'll carry this conversation on. Have a beautiful month of November. Enjoy that full moon in your sign. Enjoy these new moon energies supporting you. And I'll see you again in December. Lots of love.